Well, it's 1943.
Yep.
And right now, we're losing the war.
Indeed.
Which war? The Second World War.
The Second one, sorry.
Thank you for that. So our British troops, the Allied troops, know that the only way to get in to the mainland Europe where the Nazis occupying is by this tiny island of Sicily, and they don't know how to do it because it's full of German soldiers. So it's up to the intelligence of the British government, MI5, the spies, to figure out crazy deception, ridiculous schemes to move all of the German troops off Sicily so we can get through it. And one plucky young man called Charles Chumley, who is a scientist in MI5, comes up with this crazy idea that he's going to dress up a corpse, shove some fake files in that imply that we're going to invade Sardinia instead, throw him in the sea, hope that German spies find him, that it gets to Hitler, that based on this one thing, Hitler will move all his troops off Sicily somewhere else, and for some reason or other, Churchill kind of went,
yeah,
let's give it a go.
And it's all true. It's all
true. It's all true. So our show is about that adventure and the real people who are mixed up in it, who originated it, who fought against it, and sort of the fallout of what happens when they try and do it.
Yeah, and there's actually a lot of source material that hasn't made it into the show. In the first run, we had a number of, in fact, it wasn't the first run, it was the first time we ever showed any little bit of it prior to even being a full show. We had feedback from audience members being like, you can't pretend this is real. Like, this is wrong. Like, this, you can't lie.
There was not a more magician called Jasper Mascaline.
There was. We'll promise there was. I mean, we come from a sort of physical theatre background, so we're very much from the school of just get our bodies on stage and make whatever the hell we want with it.
I think we're very we like thinking cinematically.
Yeah, cinematically with like full scope and like writing the idea that we want to put on stage and then figuring out later how the hell we're going to do that.
Yeah,
and
we put a lot of the words "cut to" in our scripts, which is
Smash
technically
cut,
not a
zoom.
thing you can do. But there's a reason that all our the shows that we've made before, and this one included, is very much like, and then we change to somewhere else, and we come back to someone else and do that because we think in terms of that's for us the most exciting way to think.
And the audience will come with you if you just commit to that fully.
Particularly with this show, is because it's a musical comedy. There's music to both of those things. You've obviously got the rhythm and energy of the music. You've got the rhythm and energy of the comedic beats as well. And shifting either small bit affects huge amounts later in the show that you'd never expect. So once you fix a bit at the beginning, then the next 3 scenes are perfect. Then you're like, oh, but hang on, this bit's wrong now. And so it's this kind of constant...
Terrible buckaroo.
Yeah, but it is. It's a constant theatre buckaroo.
Writing the show, we had long conversations about, what should we make the show sound like? Should it just sound like it's the 40s? Everyone would die. And it would just be way too boring, way too sort of just beige and rubbish. And so we thought, well, that music at the time was pop music. So what if but then we also didn't want to do the pop song musical in World War II, that would be monstrous. So we thought, we had to try to find this balance of kind of making songs that sound like they could have been written in the 40s, but then give them this sort of modern sheen and modern sort of lyrical and rhythmical attack, and then employ lots of elements from things like hip hop and pop.
There's a lot more relevance in the world about people at the top kind of pushing through their agendas regardless of whether or not it makes sense, and these kind of policies that were followed, kind of forgetting about the for want of a better word, the little people, like the normal average person, or in this case the actual body itself that they chose, how kind of ignoring that was a person, that they had a life, and kind of using them in a way that was for the betterment of the establishment.
It's the first time all 4 of us have worked together, and therefore it probably makes sense that at the beginning it was we were all writing songs, we were all writing bits and bobs, and so it made sense that at the beginning we had a kind of collection of stuff that we were all throwing into the bucket and sort of stitching them together, whereas actually now it feels like we're all writing with the same brain, and we're all kind of feeding the same horrible baby that we've been raising for 4 years, and so it does feel like it makes sense that it's meshing together a lot more.
I'm sure the next musical will take a week.
Oh god.
Easy peasy.
It's okay. I wrote on the way here.